Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. You are with Nomads Without Limits. It is time for another Nomad chat. And today I've got a sister here, but before I go any further, if you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And we appreciate everyone that's here. So now we're going to go to our speaker, our guest. And her name is, let me get this right, Maame Abena Amoko
Amwaku.
Amaku Dua.
That's correct. Yes.
Now, she's from Accra, Ghana, okay, and moved to Norway. And I found out about her, and I'm just fascinated with her move and why she did it, how she did it, and how was the move for her and her family. So please tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I think the pronunciation of the name was really spot on. My name is Maame Abena Mwakudua, and people around me normally will call me Abena. And in Ghana, our naming system is based on the days that we are born. So I am a girl born on a Tuesday. That's why I am Abena. So when you go to Ghana, you meet a lot of people called Abena, but I'm not sure you will find anybody who is called Maame Abena Mwakudua, but that's quite interesting. Yeah, okay. So, and then my surname, it means stability. It's literally, Dua literally means as a tree. So as the tree represents long life, stability, durability. Yeah, so that's it. I'm married and I have 3 kids. I have 2 teenagers and a little boy who just turned 6. I moved to Norway 17 years ago, originally from Ghana. I am from the Ashanti region of Ghana, precisely a small village called Agogo, but my parents migrated to Accra. So I was born in Accra, I grew up in Accra, I had all my education in Accra, and then from Accra to Norway. I don't know if I should continue how I got to Norway.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for your introduction.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been in Norway?
I've been in Norway for the last 17 years.
Okay.
16, 17 years. Yeah, let's say like that. Yeah.
How was the move from Africa to Norway from Ghana?
Yeah.
Was there a culture shock that just shook you in your boots, or did you glide in with no problems?
Now, I would say the move, I will classify it in 2 folds, because the one, I moved to Norway to reunite with my husband. We had been married a year before he came to Norway. So I had literally not seen him for about 8 months. So when I was coming, it was like a young girl who is in love, who hasn't seen her boyfriend for a very long time. And so I wasn't really thinking of what to expect when I was coming, because I was just interested in meeting the guy I loved. But then when I moved to Norway, I realized that it was totally different from anything that I have seen or grown up in. The community is different. In Ghana, it's a very communal society where everybody takes care of everybody. Everybody is in everybody's business, and it's a family like that. And it's just the opposite of Norway, where they are very individualistic. It's me, myself, and myself alone, my family. You need something from your neighbor, you need to book an appointment. Your neighbor is not necessarily your friend. He doesn't need to smile with you. It's just a neighbor and you're living in that area. So I think it was kind of a cultural shock with the community. And then the weather, I know it's trivial, because in Ghana, we never discuss the weather because it's sunny throughout the year. And then here I am in an interview, and the second thing I'm talking about is the weather. It's literally cold, wet, rainy. Almost all the time. For example, it's supposed to be summer now, and I can count the number of days that we've had warm weather. So the weather is completely different from what I know, the people completely different. And yeah, I think it's just a different society. Norway, it's a welfare state, socialist state, and Ghana is a capital state. You know, here the government takes care of everybody. Everybody is moved along. A lot of stuff are free. Of course, we pay very high taxes, very low unemployment rates. You know, so when you lose your job in the next year or two, you expect to bounce back. So there are a lot of things here in Norway that actually works as compared to my home country.
Okay, how's the healthcare?
Oh, healthcare is very good. I think it's subsidized for us. Literally, we pay only consultation fee, and that is less than $20 per each doctor visit. And then that is it. So if you go to see the doctor and you need to be referred to the main hospital, all you need to just refer you, and you don't need to think about money. No. So yeah, healthcare is literally free. Education is literally free. Yeah.
Now, when you say healthcare is free, does that mean your kids can go to a university of their choice and pay nothing?
Yeah. I went through the university. My husband came here through a scholarship, so he didn't go through that system, but I took my master's in financial economics in the next town that is like 3 hours from the city we live in. So I took 2 years in the Scott University in Agda, and I was basically there 2 years. I never paid any fee. And I have lots of people here living here in Stavanger that are in the university, and you don't have to worry about anything.
Wow.
So and that is from primary to university, because I have 2 teenagers. Okay. One is going to 10th grade, and then the other one is going to the 9th grade. And then I have a 6-year-old who is starting 1st grade as well. And I literally don't pay anything. No, education is the last thing that you think about in Norway. So the quality is the same regardless of where you are living.
So how's the education system? Are they learning other languages?
We speak Norwegian here, and then we learn English from 1st grade up to 6th grade. And my daughter, when you get to the junior high school, then you decide which language you want to learn in addition to the Norwegian. So my daughter is learning Spanish, and then my son is doing French, actually.
Nice.
So yes, they do learn other languages, but every Norwegian, I think, speaks English in addition to a 3rd language.
Okay. So you're wearing a sweater now. Is it winter? Is it summer now?
It's supposed to be summer now, and today the weather is very good, but I don't think it will be good tomorrow. If we get 2 good weathers in a go, then we are very lucky.
Okay. Now, what about homelessness? Are there any homeless people there?
No, we don't have homeless people. You mean people that sleep outside like you do in America? No.
Right. No. So you have healthcare, you have education, and there's no one on the streets homeless.
No. Because why should you be homeless? Why should you sleep outside? The system takes care of everybody. If you cannot afford, you need to go to, we call it NAV. They will evaluate your financial or economic situation, and whatever need you have, I think you will be taken care of. Maybe they will have to put you through the system. You need to learn the language, you need to get a job and be back on your feet. Then that's what they would do. But no. Wow. I haven't seen one yet, so, and I've been here 17 years, so.
So if I move there, how long would it take for me to qualify for insurance, for healthcare?
You should live in Norway for at least continuously for 6 months.
Okay.
And then you should, there are different rules for different people, so it depends on where you're coming from. For EU citizens, I think it's because it's the same system. In 6 months, then you are covered. And wherever you are coming from, if it is part of EU, Norway is part of EU, then you can carry it forward into Norway as well. So For example, we have people that have lost their jobs in Poland or one of these 16 European countries, and they could get the unemployment benefits here in Norway. It's this agreement that they do have. So if you are coming from Africa, it's kind of different from the agreement. So mostly what I know is that if people coming from outside of the EU, it's either you're coming here through education or a family reunion. And then we do have people, then we call them the refugees, but I think they are not a lot. Most of the people that come to Stavanger, especially are economic migrants, and they are coming here either to work, either to school, work, school. And then that is it, or through marriage, you fall in love, and then you are here. So,
So what problems would you say that Norway has? Because you're making it sound like it's perfect. There's got to be something.
I don't think it's perfect. I think there are poor people in Norway, but like I said earlier, it's a welfare system. So it takes care of everybody so that the poverty is not very obvious. Like in my country, where there is a big gap between the rich and the poor. So you see a poor person, you know this is a poor. It's not very obvious here, but of course there are people that that do struggle. One of the biggest challenges is prices of goods and services. Because we do have high salaries, I think we do have high salaries, and then prices of goods and services are equally very high. Okay. Because we do see when we are on vacation, you see the difference. Something you pay, let's say $5 in Norway, maybe it's $1 or something. So price of goods and services are very high, but of course we do earn also very high salaries here comparatively.
Okay, when your kids were born, how long were you able to stay off from work?
Maternity leave is a year with full pay.
Full pay?
Yes, with full pay.
Okay, and you're not stressed about coming back to work sooner?
No. You don't have to, unless, of course, it depends on your job. I have had 3 children in this country, and it was my 3rd child that I had to go back to work. When he was 9 months, I had to put him in the we call it barnehage, the crèche system here. But it was because I wanted to. I had started a new job and I wanted to go catch up on it. And you could share it with your husband as well. But then the husbands also can take some leave with pay as well. So yeah, it's a whole year, 12 months with full salary.
Okay, now
and if you do not qualify to get what actually qualifies you to take the 1 year with the full pay is that you've been living in Norway continuously and been working and paying taxes for at least 6 months.
Okay.
Then when you get and then you get pregnant, you can take the one year. If you haven't been working since you moved in here, then the government gives you what we call the lump sum. They give you money because you don't have any job and you need to take care of your child. So I'm not sure, I haven't Googled it up, but I could Google it up. So many years ago, 15, 16, 17 years ago, 15 years when I had my daughter, I had a good friend who had just come and married and had come, so she wasn't working. It was about 35, 40,000 NOK. So that's about $4,000 US. And I know it's more than that now. So that is if you are here, probably on family reunion, but you've never worked, you still are entitled to something. So it's kind of fair.
Wow.
But if you've been working 6 months, then you are guaranteed a year maternity leave with full pay.
Okay, so what's the rate hike as far as what are you paying on taxes?
Yeah, the taxes, it depends on how much you earn. We use the table tax and then we use the percentage wise as well. The more you earn, the more you pay taxes. So normally, if you are a student and you earn below a certain threshold, it used to be 170,000, that is about $7,000, then it's tax-free. You don't have to pay anything. But if you are in the middle class, you have to pay the percentage taxes as well. And if you're on the high spectrum, then you also have to pay more taxes. So personally, I pay taxes between 38.5 and 39% every month.
Okay. Okay.
Is that high?
And you get so much more in return, though.
I think so. I think there is a lot of value that I get from paying my taxes. You know, my husband used to work a little bit in the UK, and we could do that comparison, and it's far, far, far better here in Ghana, in Norway, sorry. Because I don't have to worry about education. I don't have to worry about healthcare.
Wow. So you pay more on the front end, but you receive so much more on the back end.
Exactly.
That you can't beat that. You can't beat it.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel now I think, and I don't think we complain a lot here in Norway. No. We don't, because of course, when you pay so much taxes and you get a benefit from it, what's the point in complaining?
Right.
Exactly.
So let's talk about life in Ghana. Okay. Now, they recently had the year of the return.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know people, I know friends that are still going, and ones that have gone are saying, I got to go back. Ghana is like home to them. It feels so good to be there. And you and I spoke earlier, and I was telling you how I was in Botswana at the airport. And a young brother walked up to me and said, hey, brother, where are you from? And I said, America. He said, well, what tribe are you from? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm saying we're just basically lost because we don't know where we come from. And he looked at me and said, well, welcome home. And that was the most amazing feeling I've ever had while traveling, because for the first time in my life, I felt like, wow, somebody told me welcome home. And that was a feeling I've never experienced.
Yeah.
So I can understand why people are so gung-ho and so in love with Ghana. So what would you recommend my fellow African Americans or white Americans? What would you say about coming to Ghana?
I think Ghana is beautiful. For example, in the year of return, I think they made a conscious effort to make anybody who was non-Ghanaian visiting us to feel at home. So, for example, at the airports, we had this local band at the airport waiting for all you African Americans that wanted to come back home, and we were playing welcome home in the local language, and people start getting emotional just from the airport, because you see people that are like you and they are so enthused to see you guys come home. I think Ghana is beautiful and Ghana is very peaceful. Of course, there are a lot of poor people in Ghana, but there is this high emerging middle class in between the high and the lows. And I think if you want to move to Ghana and you have a business plan in mind, I will encourage you to do that, because you will love it. It's developing. There are so many opportunities in Ghana that are untapped at the moment. So we're actually looking for a lot of investors to come and then settle. And the people are so warm. Ghanaians are very, very warm people. As for settling in, I don't think it will be a big deal. Okay. And I think the most important thing is to come with a business plan and a capital to start something. Otherwise, probably you could also get lucky and get a job, but that is a little bit not as easy as it may sound. But the food is good, the weather is good, the country is peaceful, a lot of investment opportunities, housing, it's much cheaper. I'm talking about comparatively. A lot of people do build their own homes if they can afford. Otherwise, you could rent, and it's quite affordable. But it depends also where in Ghana or Accra you want to stay. Okay. It's kind of divided like that. If you want to live in the very, very high end, then it's very expensive. But if you want to be moderate, then you will find a moderate decent place to stay as well. So I would like to encourage African Americans that want to go to Ghana to actually take that step, because I don't think you will ever regret it. It's very beautiful, and we're looking forward to meeting you all.
Man, I'm trying to get people to understand how we are all connected.
Yeah.
When those slave ships left Africa and dispersed us all over the world, we just have to realize we're still connected.
Yes, we are.
And so when I go back to Africa and I see people like in South Africa or Tanzania that look like someone back home, and I'm thinking, man, those genes are strong. And when I go to Brazil,
Yeah.
and I meet people in Brazil, I'm thinking, man, you look like my cousin. You look like me.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
true.
I look at the world now and say, man, everywhere is home.
Everywhere is home. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, yeah. No, we are one people. We are connected. We call, when we talk about African Americans, we say our cousins. You know, that at least that's how we talk, because our cousins in America. We see your pain, we see your struggles. Your success is our success. I follow a lot of African American history. Watching, when I have to select a movie, there should be an African American in the movie, and then it's my choice, because so we are like, we're happy for you. We understand the struggle, but we also understand that we are one people, one family that have been split across the continent. And if we will all understand that and remember that, and wherever we connect, we see that we are family, I think it will be great for all of us.
Yes, yes. So I'm sad to say I've never been to Ghana.
You should visit Ghana.
I need to make a trip. I really do. One of my friends went to Senegal earlier this year, and she fell in love with it. You know, so okay, you and I are going to talk some more.
Yes.
And I give me some contacts, and I will go.
Yeah, because we will be going to Ghana next year, actually. So just get in touch, and we can give you some contacts and what to do and where to go.
Got it. Got it. Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say? Do you want to say, hey, come back home? Do you want to say, hey, go travel the world? Because the world is ours to explore.
The world is ours to explore, but I think, and this message is to African Americans, it will be nice, even if you are not relocating permanently to Africa, to actually do a trip to any African country of your choice and see the difference. Do not let the media actually inform you, because most of the information, I think it's a misinformation. Yes. They say a lot of things about Africans, which in most cases are not true. You need to go experience it for yourself. You need to go meet the people for yourself, eat the food for yourself, step on the soil yourself, see the culture and the tradition. You need to, in Ghana, you could go to a lot of the slave castles. We have the Elmina Castle, the Cape Coast Castle, and then even in Accra, Osu Castle, all along the coast, they are preserved, and we have lots of tourists that are coming in. I think it should be an experience of a lifestyle. You know what? I lived in Ghana so many years until I came to Norway. And then I was telling you that my husband got a job back home. So then we were frequenting Ghana. And when we were in school, we learned about this slave trade, blah, blah, blah. But I felt that I didn't understand it until I came to live in Norway. I started traveling in Europe. I saw how Black people were being treated. And then when we went back home, we decided to do this trip to the castle. And we went to Cape Coast Castle specifically. And that day, James, I understood. For the first time, I felt like I was my ancestors. Like I felt it literally. I stood the ground. I saw what they went through. And both my husband and myself, we just broke down and we cried. And there were a lot of people doing similar things. People come in, they pour libations, they pray. And I think it changed us. Even though we had been living in Ghana for a very long time, we didn't have the experience and the information to understand what had happened. Right. Until we left and came back. So I think there is something special about this pilgrimage. And if I encourage every African American, not to Ghana, but everywhere there is this slave castles, you should go see it for yourselves. It changes. It's different from reading it.
You're breaking me down.
Yeah, it's something else.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a lot of rich history in Ghana as well, lots of them. You could go to villages where these sub-chiefs accepting tourists and telling them about the history. So that is not a second-hand information, but getting information right from the source, you know. Right. And then where I come from, the chief also can tell you the role that we played. We as Africans ourselves, you know, the roles that we did play, what we learned from it, and like it changes you. It changes you. Mm-hmm. It changes you. It has changed us, so I know it changes everybody who has been there.
Wow.
So I encourage everybody to make that pilgrimage back to Africa. Africa is home.
I've read the stories. I've talked to people that have been to the dungeons, you know, where the slaves were kept, and how they were all standing side by side, and they had to use the restroom with themselves. Yeah. You know, total darkness. And I'm thinking, oh man, how can you treat someone that bad?
Exactly. Exactly. But when you see all this, and then we see you guys, we see that you are survivors, because not everybody goes through that and survive.
So true.
Yeah, and it's what will change you. I have goosebumps all over me because I remember it's an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah. And the strong survive. The strongest survive.
The strongest survive. And this experience is not just for you guys up there. It's for us that were left back home as well. And that is where people don't really understand that you guys were taken away, but we were left there. And some of us are even cut from the history. Most people, you know, Cape Coast is where my husband is from.
Okay.
And he had not done that pilgrimage for so many years. And he comes from Cape Coast. He comes from that area. You know, we had to leave Ghana, have a different experience, have a different exposure to understand the gravity of what had happened, so that we could understand and then treat people with respect and see and understand your struggles, you know. Right. So it changes you in a very positive way. It makes you a better person, and it makes you stand up and speak. You know, when George Floyd died, we were part of the people that organized a demonstration here in Stavanger. We were like, no, we are far away from America, but we are in Norway, and he's one of us, you know. And these are some of the advantages that you get when you are in touch with your history, because that's my brother you killed right there, even though I'm not in America.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing protests all over the world.
All over the world.
And it showed me such a connection that was just powerful.
Yeah.
You know, so
because Africans all over the world wouldn't, because we were calling people, hey, Norwegians, wherever you are from, everybody needs to get involved in this. This has to stop. And it was amazing. We had lots of support here because we organized it with the Stavanger University African students, and that we got massive support. We were so amazed the number of people that came, you know. So yeah, I encourage everybody, if you can afford it, once in a lifetime, make that pilgrimage to Africa, not necessarily to Ghana, but to Africa, and reconnect to the history, and I think it will change you forever. Yes. in a good way.
Now, I've been to 6 countries in Africa.
In Africa, okay.
And my only regret is not taking off my socks and shoes to walk barefoot. I look back, I'm like, man, I just want to walk barefoot where my ancestors were. You know, I want to feel the soil, you know, between my toes. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But when I did climb Kilimanjaro, I can say that I swallowed enough dust to say I tasted Africa.
Yeah. That's interesting, yeah.
Well, Miss Abena, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome. And thank you for just sharing your experience and your life with us. Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Any more?
No, I think I have exhausted everything.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but this is a travel, that's a travel channel or group. Yes. And I encourage, we keep traveling and exploring the world. It's ours to explore, like you rightly said.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. And if anyone wants to
you.
contact you, can I give them your email address?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I
You
will
have
drop
that.
it
Yeah.
on the link.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks again.
You're welcome.
And how do you say thank you in your language?
Medase. In Ghana language, we say medase.
Medasi.
Medase.
Dasi.
And then in Norwegian, we will say tak.
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 Okay. Well, thank you. Medas.
Medase.
All right. You take care.
You too.